everyone. I'm Peyton.
I'm Jeff Doss, and
And
welcome
welcome to
to.
the group. Oh,
There we go. Alrighty, you paused. I didn't know what was going on.
I was waiting for you to introduce yourself.
See, that wasn't how you did it last time. You had your own thing, so
Oh, well,
it's all right. We're still learning. It's all right. You're doing
we're
great, Peyton.
I'm a little sick, guys. It's okay.
Yes. So Peyton, yeah, you've had kind of a rough weekend. Was supposed to be fighting this weekend, a
We
set fight.
had a set match, and I ended up getting sick at the end of the week, like last week on Friday. And then I found out Saturday morning that she broke her ankle. So, it kind of worked
Yeah,
out
yeah.
in a
It's
weird, twisted kind of way.
right. Yeah, and you were supposed to fight Robin, right? Robin LaBeouf. Yes, and so hope she gets better soon and gets well fast. Those ankle injuries are not fun. It's
Yeah.
really funny we talk about that, just ankle injuries, because the video I posted today, a couple of videos, I was looking back at old stuff, and that was a video of like a form I did 2 days after getting off of crutches, like from a broken ankle. And I should not have been competing, but I was just like, hey, listen, I'm going to, it's super grands. And so that was kind of funny, just how it kind of all goes around.
Right? Why not?
Why not, right? All right, so Peyton, you've had a big couple of weeks. We got back last week from Ocean States, and you had an awesome week. So let's share just some of the big things that you learned and you enjoyed from Rhode Island.
Oh yeah. First of all, the weather, because it was definitely hot in Florida and it was cold over there. At least cold for my Floridian self. But aside from that, obviously company is always great. But I ended up making it to the top 8 in the open weight division, which was amazing. Um, and then ended up making it to the top 4. Fought Kayla Mejia on stage, and then I ended up fighting Katarina on stage. Did come up short, however, I made it to stage, and that's always a goal of mine going into tournaments, period, is to make it on stage for fighting, and I achieved that goal. So that was great. And then Saturday, I won my division, and I fought Katarina on Saturday for grands, and it came up short again. But I am learning things, and I'm using all of these losses are learning experiences for me. So I had a lot of fun.
Definitely, definitely. And you guys that are watching, make sure you are sharing. And if you saw Peyton fight, or have some of your favorite fights that you watch in the female divisions, put them out here in the comments. But yeah, it was action packed, and I just remember it's cool to, with the way that the open weight was. Your dad and I was like, well, you know what, she won her first fight, so she's already made money, right? So it's
Yep.
it's it's cool to when they're giving money like that, and then all right, well, I've already made money, so that's good. Or I'm getting some
Yes.
type of money in return. That's good, and I think we all appreciate that when something like that happens, when the sport does that,
Especially especially for the women's division.
yeah.
Because
Well, it's
there
true.
was
I mean, yeah,
there was a point in time when we weren't getting much or anything really.
right.
So it's nice to one get the recognition, to be, I'm not gonna say completely equal with what the men get, but we're getting there. And
Right. Right.
obviously we have half the amount of competitors as they do. So it's the half the amount of money. I mean, it's still they were giving away $5,000 to the women's division, which is crazy.
Right. Right. Yeah, and I mean it's a big deal. I mean, I know, just even in forms for me, it's like, just to get the runner up, at least you're getting something. But a lot of tournaments aren't doing that. So it's like, and a lot of times you don't know until you get there, and that's the unfortunate part. Um,
Yes.
like I got 200 for being runner up in the traditional grand. some
Mhm.
tournaments that happen, sometimes it doesn't, and so you just never really know. Um, so I like the consistency with that. And yeah, and all right, this is a good question.
It is a
Right.
good
You said
question.
with that payout structure, did you find yourself more relaxed after knowing that you are already in the money?
Um, I'm not gonna say more relaxed. It was cool knowing that whether or not I won my next fight, I was getting money, but the goal was ultimately the grand prize. Like I
Right.
was like, okay, cool, I have 250, great. And then when I fought my second fight to get to top four, great. Now I have 500. Now I'm going for the 1,000. Okay, no, now I'm going for the 2,000. Like it was just working
Yeah.
your way up. So it was awesome knowing I already had money no matter what. So like I guess I relaxed a little bit, but I was going for that 2,000.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. No, I get that feeling as well. It's like, all right, we're here. We've done this so far. This is how, now from there, I just got to do a little bit more work. Now it's more of just getting legacy instead of just money. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
and hey, I was the grand champion of this
Mhm.
tournament.
Yep.
Anytime you win a grand championship at a NASCA 5 or 6 day tournament, it's a big deal. It's because most of the time those tournaments have been around for 30 to 40 years. So
Yeah.
just like if you win at like AKA World Cup, you win any type of grand there. That's been around for 60 years. So um, and I think this tournament was their 40th anniversary, I believe, for
I
Ocean States. Yeah. So I mean, it's really cool. What's up, Leandro? Um, so yeah, for me, what were some? What's up, Alex? What were some of the best fights for you watching um, in the open weight division?
um I think Katarina and Savannah is always a good one for me because
Yes.
they're
Yes.
it's tall person fighting tall person. So it's and Katarina and Jasmine. Those are always interesting because
Yeah, that was interesting.
different watching someone who's tall fighting another taller fighter because it kind of goes more along with what us shorter people do with each other. But I noticed a lot of like the tall girls, their thing is the legs, like for sure, because of the length. So I
Yeah.
think some of the exciting fights were definitely Katarina and Jasmine, and then watching Savannah and Katarina, and then
Yeah. They're two different types of kickers too, because so
yeah,
Katarina and Savannah, they have a very similar style because they actually train together. They're from the
yeah,
same,
uh,
same area, same school, everything. So their styles are very similar. But then Jasmine's completely different type of kicker as them. So more Taekwondo based, Olympic style Taekwondo, and from Joe Pina school. So very different.
oh yeah, and then I think watching all of the women fight for me is exciting because you see so much improvement from everyone, like in the division, every single time we compete. Someone is
Yeah.
getting better at something, and like sometimes a person, excuse me, a person will beat someone you wouldn't. I'm not saying you would expect them to beat, but it's like a surprise winner. Like someone won over another person that you were like, wow. And I think there was a lot of that this weekend, or that Ocean State too.
Yeah. Um, it's interesting. It was cool to see that. It was cool to see, straight up's new lineup, and they were
Yeah.
excited, for that, for bringing out, that team. Um, overall, I think they all did well. It's just, every division's tough, and everybody is a killer right now. So
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. And
yeah.
the teams division is exciting.
Yes, it was. All those matches were fun. They were exciting. Um, Close. Some of them were very close. Um,
Oh
oh, we can't forget about Diamond. Diamond G3. Like their females are doing great as well. And
100%. They have a great lineup.
yeah, and Kyla is doing great. And she's someone that fights the taller competitors a lot of times pretty well. She does a
Oh
great
yeah,
job of that. Super smart.
I've been watching Kayla fight since we were on Velocity together, so I got to watch her fight in the women's division when I was still a junior. So I got to
Oh, that's
experience. Yeah, I got to experience watching her win and just be amazing at what she does. And then I got to fight her on stage. So that was like it was cool to me to fight her on stage when I used to watch her like as a kid.
right, right, right. Um, and then we had, let's see, Sayers. She did amazing. Like, she had a great week as well. Making to the finals in the women's grands
Yes.
against Katarina and having a great fight. Um, who was it that she beat in the? Was it in the daytime or was it?
Um
Was she the one to beat Katana or no? Who was that?
I think I want to say in the division. I don't remember. I know Karina and Katana, I think they fought for open weight.
That's what that
And
was. Yeah, Karina and Katana. That was a great fight, and
it
Karina
was a
won that.
yeah, Karina and Katana fought for open weight. I don't remember because Karina is in Jimenez division.
That's right.
I
That's right.
don't remember who she fought. Oh, I don't remember. I just know she had to, and then she beat Karina to get into the overall,
Right. Right.
and then
Okay.
Katarina fought me to get into overall.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this really gets me excited for Quebec, as a lot of these women are
Yeah,
Canadian and are going to be there. So it's going to be great. That's something I guess a lot of us don't really talk about, is like right now, like how strong the Canadian women are, right? And we got to, and it's
Savannah,
the,
Nana, like there's a whole list.
yeah, I mean it's nuts, and then you know, Kayla lives. Yes, she's from originally Mexico, but she's Quebec now. So
Yes,
it's pretty exciting to just see all the talent right now that are winning in America, and they're also many of them are competing overseas as well.
yes.
With the guys doing so many different Waco events. Sam and Kayla are doing so much over there. So um, it's gonna be exciting next week at Quebec, and Quebec usually has either some type of special team fight or some type of special set fight. So it's gonna be interesting to see what's going on.
In that night show, I've seen it. It's crazy. The stage
Yeah,
looks
yes.
insane.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I talked to them today, so I guess I'll go ahead and announce it now here too. Um, So what they're going to do, they are going to do a Korean challenge this year at Quebec, but every round is going to be head to head. So this is going to be really fun. It's going to be head to head every round in all the divisions. But he just told me today that instead of doing for the night show, instead of doing like the top two men are going against each other for a winner, and the women they're gonna do that during the day, and then they're gonna actually do the winner of the man versus the female as an overall type thing. So
Oh,
we'll see how
that's cool.
that's gonna be interesting. So hopefully they do that as well with the juniors, because I know the juniors have been wanting to do something, and it's hard right now with the Korean Challenge because it's not a rated division yet.
Mhm.
So we want to push it, but when there's so many divisions that competitors doing for points and a night show, you got to do something, right? So, every time that the promoters ask me about it, I tell them that just because I understand, you know, the parents, the kids, they're doing a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But I do hope that next year the division is an aspirated division, and then that the two adult divisions also have prize money as well, almost like the open weight.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we will see what happens with that. But I'm excited because for me, I love the head-to-head matchups in every round. It's like that in a lot of the traditional AAU Taekwondo tournaments that I'll be doing. Um, And actually, the week of U.S. Open, I will be in Fort Lauderdale competing at the Nationals. So there's about 5,000 competitors there that week in Fort Lauderdale doing Taekwondo. And then we will finish forms Wednesday, and then I'll drive up to Orlando for the rest of the week. So yeah, I'm going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, last year I did 14 forms in one day. This year I probably do more. And then I have some students going this year too. So it's going to be wild. But yeah, they start Monday with point fighting and continuous fighting. And then Tuesday will be weapons. And then they do actually their more traditional style, like sport punse and stuff. Yeah, Leandro, he's been there. He showed up last year and snuck in to watch me. But yeah, so it's gonna be exciting. Quebec is always fun, and you just never know what to expect with everybody. I haven't been there since 2001, and I tried to go in 2003, and we couldn't get over the border. So yeah.
Well,
But
if you're watching, I'm thinking about going.
there you go. There you go. Um, yeah, it's funny because I'm looking at my trophy from Quebec Open like right now, like it sits right in front of me. It's one of the coolest ones ever. But yeah, so all right. So overall, what are some other big things that you liked about Ocean State? Some things that you thought they did well, different than other tournaments?
I think it was definitely ran pretty good this last time.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think one of my least favorite things is having the light switches on the wall, like
Oh
where
yeah.
everyone can just and turn them off. Because they had people doing forms, doing like spin tosses as the lights are going out, and like
Dude,
so just stay off the wall. Like other than that,
true.
though,
But
I think it was ran for me at least. It was ran pretty smoothly. Like um, I think I fought before 3 o'clock on Saturday for once. So I
yeah,
was able to
yeah,
go to my room, take a nap, and just kind of be rested for the show.
yeah,
And I like the fact that they kept us all in one ring because sometimes they'll have like women doing forms over here, and then we'll be in a fighting division over here. But some of the women that do forms fight,
yeah.
and so like we have to wait for them anyway. So it's just they had this
Right.
all together.
Yeah, that was good. That was definitely good. All right. So speaking of that, the lights going out. All right. See, so that's a bad thing. All right, but it gives way for some cool, incredible moments.
Oh,
So
100%.
I was watching that ring. I had students in that ring, um, and Jackson Hensley is doing his form, his combo form, and the
Everyone
lights
put their
go out.
flashlight.
Everyone
They're
put
like,
their phones up, and he
yep,
completed the whole form, and
uh
he
huh.
did even more all of his crazy tricks and nailed it. And I believe he won that division or got second. I mean, it was crazy, and I was just like, all right, dude, like I don't care, he deserves to win. But at the same time, like I don't know. I mean, was it cooler because of that? Probably, but you know what? I mean, I'd say give it to him. I mean, that was one division. You know what I mean? It's not, they
Yeah.
have two other. But I mean, he nailed it, and that was a cool moment. I wish I got that part like on video,
Oh yeah.
because that was cool to see.
It's
But
what
that was
it's
one of
like
the
watching the kids support each other and putting on the flashlights. Like everyone puts on the flashlight because they were doing it in the girls division too behind it. They had
yeah,
Jackson going in
yeah,
that ring, and then they had another girl going in this ring, and everyone had their flashlights on to make sure she was able to complete her form.
yeah. That was cool. Yeah, that is cool. That's something that I love about um, the camaraderie we have, but also like those age groups too, like the 14, 15, and 16, 17. A lot of them have been competing together since they're 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, at least the past 4 years, even before that. And they're just buddies. They see each other every weekend. I remember that growing up, and my best friends were everyone that I got to see at sport karate, and we were always there for each other, yelling for each other. It was just a crazy time, and it's cool to see that because at one point I felt like that had kind of gotten lost in the sport. But it's back big time now, so it's really cool.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
All right. So, do you think you got sick from Ocean State or something else?
Um, I don't know. Like I get yearly
Something.
sinus infections. I have an annual sinus infection. And sometimes it's at the beginning of the year, sometimes it's at the end of the year.
I
It
understand.
just
I get that.
I think it's the
I
weather
understand.
'cause the weather's been so, like, bipolar.
That's true. It's supposed to be 100 up here, like
Exactly, and
tomorrow.
it's supposed to be, like,
Like, wait,
over the weekend, like, the UV is, like, the highest, and then during the week, it's freezing. I don't understand.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been crazy. Yeah, the past 2 weeks here have been nuts. Just I think I actually today was pretty cool, but yesterday it was like 90, and we're talking about Virginia. So it was also like in the 30s in the beginning of the week or the week before. So it's just
Yeah.
nuts. You just never know. So, all right. The tournament also that you got to be at, Knuckle Up was this weekend, which is really cool tournament. It's an all fighting tournament, and they
I
have a
love
lot of set fights, a big night show. Murphy and USA Sport Karate do a great job with this event and make it a big deal every year. What were some of the highlights for you?
Highlights for me are always watching my students compete. Um, Granted, like, I was sick, so I didn't fight, but I did get to watch all of my students compete, and I don't usually get to do that because I have to judge. But this time
Mm.
around, I got to watch them compete. I got to coach some of them, so they all did really well. Like all of the kids that fought did so good. Dante came out and even fought, and he did awesome for his first time fighting at a tournament. He looked great.
Wow,
Uh,
that's awesome.
my student that I call my twin, she ended up winning her set match, and yeah, it was just. And then Jaden had a set match. He fought so good. All of the kids did
Yeah,
really amazing. That's my favorite part of going to tournaments that are like local, is being able to
yeah.
watch like what they practice being put on the mat.
All right. So you have I don't know. It's a little different with your local events because you have local events that are good. Okay. I'm sure there are some local events that are not. Okay. I don't know. This just brought it up because you said favorite thing about local events. So, what are some of the favorite things, but also what are some of the worst things about local events? All right. And again,
Um,
I wouldn't say USA Sport Karate would be that. There's got to be something else that's bad. We don't have to name names, sorry, but I mean, I'm sure you've been to some that were like this, like listen, local events sometimes, especially where I'm at, they do the least just to see, and get the most out of the least. All right, like a lot of tournaments here in Virginia do not have mats, still do not have mats.
we
So
have
that's just here. You guys have mats everywhere.
we definitely have bats.
You have mats,
I
and
have
you
to.
walk into the lobby. Like, come on.
I think I would have to say this year we've had a couple tournaments that have been at the same place like 2 or 3 times. So I think that's one of like the
Okay.
downfalls. I like going different places. Like
Yeah.
last year, we had tournaments at the Wyndham in Orlando. I know
Yeah.
towards the middle of the year we have the Mayan Challenge coming up that's in Clearwater. um, and then we have Battle at the Beach that's coming up. Battle at the Beach that's towards the end of the year in Daytona. So like we have the tournaments that are at the beach, but different venues, like going different places.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Maybe
always fun.
I get to watch my students compete at locals, so that's another downfall for me because I have to judge. But
Yeah.
I guess the
It's funny.
disadvantage.
I was thinking of this topic actually for us to talk about even on Inside Scoop next week. But then the main thing that clicked me to talk about now, I just blanked and don't remember it. But so definitely, I know for me, like in Virginia, it's like there's no leagues anymore. There used to be, but there's like no leagues anymore. So like everybody kind of does their own thing, right? But I know for me that I hate about local events is school lineup. All right. And I don't know if you guys have ever do this at tournaments. Okay. but the school lineup, it's such a dated thing, right? Where they just say, all right, guys, so after all the musical divisions gone and the breaking divisions and the self-defense divisions, if they have that, then we're all going to stop and we're all going to line up and you get behind your school and you get behind this.
No, we
And
don't do that.
then we'll listen to, oh, I know, I never did my turn, but we'll listen to someone on a mic that you can't understand because they're like this. And, and it's so bad. And a lot of them use that because they don't have a system like Eventex or Mad Action to see how many people brought, how many students they brought. So that's how they judge who brought the most, and then they'll bring them up, or they'll give everyone an award, which, okay, that's cool. Thanks for supporting an award. I don't need that. I don't need, and so, and then you have some people that come up and advertise their tournament. Then you have about 10 different Hall of Fame awards that they give. And like some tournaments, literally, like the kids will be sitting there 45 minutes. All right. Like that's how bad it is. We don't start the tournament, then they say it's going to start sharp at 10. Really, it's more like 11:30. Okay.
And then they have to
what?
And then they have to warm up again because they've been sitting there.
It's crazy. All right, now weapons go. Okay, now this and that. It's like it's wild. Just some of the stuff at local events and school lineups. To me, it drives me nuts. So that is one of the favorite.
Yeah, we don't do the school lineup, but like a couple tournaments, depending on like a lot. The last USA Sport is beside Knuckle Up. We had all the judges lined up at the front. And like so they showed like all the judges and all the volunteers that were there to like show their support. And then they bowed to the parents. And then at the last USA Sport in March, it was Mr. Williams' birthday. So we sang happy birthday. But like that doesn't happen at every tournament.
Right.
And that doesn't happen at every tournament. And it's quick. Like we were probably maybe 10 minutes done. Like that was it.
Yeah, I mean, they even did that at like the Waco Nationals, Waco USA Nationals. They did that. But it was still different, it wasn't as bad. But yeah, I mean, it's like, all right, really, we're doing this. We're really doing this. And so that's one thing. I mean, there's so many. I mean, for me, so if there's no mats, like they'll be taping off the rings, right? But some people don't even want to do that. They want to go like so cheap that they don't want to tape the whole thing. So they just get a cone and tape that on and just make a box with the cones. That's like a legit thing. They'll just have cones and then you have to envision that this is where the imaginary line is. And that's when I'm in or out of bounds. It's like, that's the kind of thing that happens at local events. Okay. And then, of course, most of them, like, there's no, everything's all together. It's just one forms division, one weapons division, one fighting division. All right. Sometimes they'll have weight classes, sometimes not. Like the last tournament, I don't know, I put a lot of videos out from this tournament. It was a good tournament, but it was just adult fighting, so, which is fine. But my first round, I'm fighting like a guy like 275 and I'm like 140, and it's like, all right, let me get warmed up first, which it was fine. It was not, but it's just that kind of stuff you got to prepare yourself for, right? You gotta try to, you just don't know, right? And then of course surface, being on the gym floor, which honestly I don't mind in a lot of ways. Honestly, for fighting, I don't mind it because I actually, the floor is kind of sticky. Forms is probably harder than that. It just there's just a lot of things like that. Oh, and judges still that like want to go like Ajime and say Kumite and say all this stuff and are super judges. Wait, call like that.
Oh my gosh, I just like that so much.
Still a thing in local tournaments up here. So
there's some national judges that do that, and it takes so long.
It does. And it drives me nuts just because, so when I had my tournament, that was one of the main things, was trying to get everybody on the same page with rules and stuff. And I feel like we did a good thing and did that for about 10 years. And then when I stopped, everyone else stopped and said, "Oh, we're going to go back doing the way we used to." And um,
Yeah.
oh, the other thing is there's no time limit, so it's just first to 5 for underbelts and first to 7 for black
Wow.
belts. So with no time limit. Now for black belts, that first to 7 can take a really long time, or it
Oh
can
yeah.
go to like, or it can be really fast. But it's pretty intense about like
Uh-huh.
it's nuts. So yeah, so those are some things that I don't like about my local tournaments, and I'm actually feel like I'm still missing some, But as far as things I like seeing, just the old school people that I grew up with. Um, and then everyone just shows me a lot of respect, which I appreciate. Sometimes you don't think that's going to happen when you are a national competitor, but there are
Yeah.
people that really like show that and like appreciate that you represent them. That's what they feel like. So that part's cool, you know. So I mean, I don't ever feel disrespected at a tournament or anything like that, uh, for the most part. but
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, I think overall for local events, I just feel like you guys have it the best as far as any local area because you have like an actual professional league, and it's not fair. Yeah, it really isn't. So, um, all right. Any let's see, knuckle up overall. Oh, who were some of the big winners? Who won the Katana won the women's overall, right?
Katana won the women's. Hope is back fighting.
Yes.
It was her
Awesome.
her first tournament back. She fought really well for not being like in the circuit for a while. But yeah,
Yeah.
Katana took home the win. Um, it was I think Devin and Kevin were supposed to fight. I think for the grands. I don't
Mhm.
think they did. I don't
Okay.
remember the fight. I would have remembered that fight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
um,
Yeah. Got it.
and then obviously there was they were giving away money to the juniors,
Okay.
like up to I think from like 10, 11 to 12, 13 got 50, and then the 14, 17 got 100. So that was pretty cool in my opinion.
That's
Like
cool.
that's something all tournaments do, but some
Mhm.
local events here do that, and to me it's really cool because then not only does it give the juniors more to fight for, but then they're like really, really like putting their best into it.
Yep. Yep. Definitely. So overall, was this bigger event? Was it is it about where that event usually is? Was it a solid, successful event
I would say
for them?
it's about where it usually is. I I think it was about the same as last year. That event is always super
Okay.
exciting because it is all fighting. So
Yeah.
as a fighter, I love it because I don't have to sit and write on a board and do it like for
Right.
anything performed.
Cool.
So you would just
Now,
have to sit there and point, and it's
was
just
it a
yeah.
different location than the year before?
Yes, it was at a
Okay.
school this year. Last year it was at
Okay. One of the
it was the
hotels, right?
window.
Was it at the Wyndham? Yeah, it was at the
Yeah.
Wyndham last year. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Before we finish up, we're gonna have a yeah. Damien said they didn't fight.
Yeah.
Um, we're gonna just talk about toughest competitors growing up, and this could be from when you started until maybe, I mean, I guess just your whole junior years if you want to go that much. But who are some toughest or maybe some rivalries, uh, some people that you want to shout out and why?
Um so I was competing against a lot of the same people as like
Hmm.
a kid. So
Right.
because we all like whenever I started here, either everyone was either like the same age as me or like a year older. So I always competed against Carson. Me and Carson were always competing against each other. I think I have pictures of us as yellow belts competing against each other with our little bows and
And
our little
Carson
bows in hand doing
Chavez,
our
right?
forms. Yes, Carson
Carson
Chavez.
Chavez. Okay.
I
Awesome.
was Haley was in a couple of my divisions as a kid,
Yeah.
and everyone knows that she was little. She was super small, so it was always like there's like this big difference.
The
Um,
pictures of you guys are hilarious.
they are so funny. It is now because now we're the same height. So I don't
Right.
know where my growing stopped, but obviously hers caught up.
Yeah.
um, so I did compete against Haley as a kid. Obviously, Haley is a firecracker anytime she competes, and so she was competition for me growing up. Carson was competition for me growing up, and then me and one of my teammates at the time, Kalea, we always went head to head in fighting, head to head in forms, and we beat each other up all the time. But at the end, we were like friends, like best
Yeah.
friends.
Right.
So those were probably like the three biggest people for me growing up.
That's fun. That's fun. Yeah, and you talked about going against Carson. You know, that's one thing as well. When we grow up, we go against guys, girls, everybody. You know, in the local divisions.
Uh,
It's just the way it is.
the
And
14
even
17
for me, yeah, right, right.
wasn't split.
And
Like
go ahead.
the 14-17 division wasn't split, so it
Oh
was
wow.
like me 14 going against like guys that were like 17 for fighting, or not for fighting, for forms and weapons.
Okay.
So there's a
Yeah.
big difference.
Yeah. Definitely. And we did that a lot in the NBL and NASCA growing up. It was all together. I was trying to explain this to some of the parents that I teach on the circuit, and I was like, no, there were 7 divisions for forms and 5 for weapons. Like that was it. Like when we were growing up, like, and so it was literally 8 and under, 9 to 10, 11 to 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, and then there was two. The year that I started doing NASCA as a black belt was the first year they split the musical division. The musical division used to be 17 and under, then they
Uh-huh.
went to 12 and under and 17. So, you know, and then now some of the bigger tournaments would split boys and girls, but like this was when everybody either went to finals or they ran it off. So only the
Uh-huh.
top 3 would most of the time make it. So yeah, so it was a lot different. But for me, starting my toughest competitor was Jennifer Santiago. So if you guys don't know who she is, she's a legendary fighter, a beast. Her father was the one who ran Metro. She has some of the most legendary knockouts on World Combat League. So if you look up Jennifer Santiago, she's also been like a professional and Golden Gloves boxer. She's just a beast, right? So when we were like 9, 10 years old, we would fight, do forms, everything against each other. And so she was amazing. Another one was Ashley Lane. Ashley Lane was she's still around. She lives in the Georgia area. Amazing competitor. Her bow was awesome. And so all 3 of us were going back and forth in the forums and divisions. And then also Calman and I grew up together. Calman Choka. So I think I'm a year older than him. So he he would sometimes actually he would win the weapons, I would win the forms. A lot of times we would go back and forth, and so it was us 4 in the division. Pretty much always top 4 every event, and then you had a lot of other competitors, but those were kind of how I started NASCA. And then of course moving on, it became Butch Marks, which is Casey Nash's brother. Butch and I just became again like best friends. And same thing with Ashley. All of us, we were just all cool, right? And then there's so many. I mean, I've been competing for a long time, guys, but it changed too. It changed. The divisions changed in the middle of my junior years. Like it used to be, like I said, like 9, 10, 11, 12, and then all of a sudden they switched it and did the opposite to like move it to randomly 12, 13. And it was like, okay, well, this is the year to move out of these people. And now so you almost had like 2 years with those same people, and normally it would switch. So there was a lot of things like that kind of happened. But yeah, and I'm sure I'm missing people. Like when I moved over to doing some of the NBLs, Jesse Jones, a guy named Jesse Jones, he was amazing. Daryl Lewis, Gandhi, he's one of my favorite competitors to go against. And then in fighting, I got more into continuous fighting, especially on the NBL side. And so Jason Tankson's younger brother, Leroyce Tankson, him and I were on stage on most of the time battling for first and second. And we were on the same team and going at it. And that was always fun. We just had a lot of great competitors that we all, just killed it. Brett Shumway and I grew up together competing. That he's part of the main gang. He's a year older than me, so and of course, like Chris Walker and I grew up competing together every time. So there's so many great competitors that growing up. But Jennifer, those first 3 or 4 years, it was her and I every year for the forms and weapons titles, and then Butch and I for some of those forms titles later on. So always fun to look back at that and think about those times.
Definitely,
But
definitely.
it's funny when I get someone's texting me who wants me. Oh, here we go. All right, I'll shout out this weekend. USA Sport Karate. I'm just gonna hook you guys up. All right, they got a big event, 20th, Miami, Florida. MVP will be in the building, so make sure you guys go and check that out. He's going to do a seminar. Michael Venom Page, and I met his brother several times. He's an awesome guy. So it's cool to see he's coming back and giving back to that sport. And also, what Damien said was that the Waco light contact and kick like divisions were very successful as well too.
Yes, that
So
knuckle up, they were really good.
and I love that they're doing that, and I really wish we had more of that here, because so many schools I know would do that in this area. If there was a way to do it. So yeah, so I'll have to, I guess, have a tournament. Oh man! All right, so what's next for you besides getting healthy?
um, Thinking about Quebec up
All
in the air,
right,
but thinking about it. Otherwise, definitely Pan Ams.
awesome, good stuff, good stuff. Well, we will hope you feel better. And
Thank you.
again, I am super proud of you for your performance at Ocean State.
Thank you.
I just felt like it was going to be a big weekend for you, and you did it. And excited to see the next one. And let's just keep it up.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we will see you next month, and I will see you Monday for Inside Scoop, and supposed to have a guest, and I still haven't revealed it yet. So I'll let you guys know probably Friday who the special guest is this week. But all right, Peyton, take us out.
Good night, everyone. Hope to see you guys posting videos. I want to see if I go to Quebec. I want to see everything, photos, live streams, all of it.
Everything, even the after party.
Yes, exactly.
All right, guys, have a great one.
Good night.